Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, we have a Japanese horror movie about a mysterious videotape that when you watch it, you have 7 days to... Oh, wait, that's a wrong one. No, this one is just a mysterious videotape that contains a snuff film. Tonight's movie, Celluloid Nightmares.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! I'm Baby Circus. Anyways, yes, tonight, coming off of last night's eye-popping, eye-deoculator type of movie, Eyeball, it is time to go back to the land of the rising sun for a movie that, when you're running around IMDb and they have those similar movies or whatever, you tend to get into like a bit of a hole because you're like, you're looking at one movie and then you go to another movie and go, ooh, that movie, and you end up finding something that catches your eye. And this was the movie that caught my eye, and it was called Celluloid Nightmares, otherwise known as Abnormal Ingyaku. Yes. So, what is this movie about? Well, it begins with a brutal rape, murder, and dismemberment, all videotaped. And the videotape is found in a refrigerator with the dismembered hand or arm, I guess sort of an arm, holding it. And then we meet our protagonist, a woman who is a crime hunter. That's right, she hunts crime, apparently. Anyways, she is investigating this mysterious snuff film and wants to figure out who is behind this dastardly deed. All the while, a man who works at a video box establishment, and if you don't know what a vid box establishment is, it is a place where people go rent a video, and they have little boxes, little private rooms where they can watch those private videos. And, they're not just, like, watching Frozen, they're watching, adult things. Anyways, so he's cleaning one of the rooms. Ugh, what a job. And notices that someone has left a videotape inside the VCR, and, of course, he finds out that it is also a copy of that same tape of the murder, rape, and dismemberment, and he becomes obsessed with it. Why? Well, because at night he's, I guess, sort of like a film student. He records nightscapes, and he bumps into a woman who he thinks may have been the victim. And so, of course, the crime hunter and the vidbox employee get acquainted and kind of share their notes, and they, through the prism of the movie, eventually find out that perhaps the murderer is closer to them than they first thought. So let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am giving it a 2.5 out of 5, mainly because of the de-arming. That is pretty much as spectacular as it gets. There is a bit of blood and some stabbing, but honestly, you stab someone so many times, you would expect there to be stab wounds and what they're wearing to have like holes where the knife went through. But no, we're just gonna wear a white shirt and just douse it with some Tabasco sauce and call it good, right? Yeah, I guess. I don't know. 2.5 out of 5. Shock value, 1.5 out of 5, and that is entirely the snuff film portion that is shocking. Or there is also another aspect of this film that one might find shocking if they don't know what they're getting into. And I am going to prevent you from being shocked by this situation. So, continue watching. 1.5 out of 5. Plot? This is where the movie kind of falls apart. Because it is a 1 out of 5. It has an interesting core. There is a story there to be told that can be interesting and intriguing. And honestly, I was kind of reminded of 8mm and this whole idea of like, oh, you know, she's gonna investigate the world of underground videos. I mean, they even talked about underground video film, UVF, and I thought, okay, well, we're gonna have some kind of interesting, you know, going deep into the dark recesses of the video trading industry, and to find, you know, detective work back to the person who may have made this. And she even has like a part where it's like, you know, I've investigated a lot of options, but I have not investigated the sex industry. And it's like, okay, so this is interesting. This could become, you know, a deep detective story, and it is not, actually. This is more akin to a very late night Cinemax softcore adult film, because there is a whole lot of nudity, a whole lot of sex, a whole lot of sexual content. And sometimes I wonder how bad things must be when I myself have to sort of skip past some of the sex scenes because they just kind of meander a little too long. What world are we living in when I'm doing that? Anyways, because of that, the plot is very thin, and there are things that make zero sense because there is a twist at the end. And the twist, I'm going to spoil it. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Literally, none of you are going to watch this. None of you guys are going to track this down. But here it is. The crime hunter is actually the victim of the rape, but wasn't murdered, and she still has her arm. How? It doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. You just sort of destroyed the movie at that point. But I mean, you know, the kind of like, it was kind of interesting, the reveal of like who was behind it. Yeah, you sort of had to know it was in that situation because there's only 4 characters in this entire freaking film. Maybe there's 5. I don't know, but it's yeah. Anyways, yeah. The plot is a gigantic fail. 1 out of 5. Acting actually is surprisingly decent. I enjoyed the acting. 3 out of 5. Once again, Japanese acting, maybe I can't get the nuances. I don't know. 3 out of 5. Nudity, 5 out of 5. After all, this is, like I said, a Cinemax late night softcore type of movie with the emphasis on core. But, it's that. You know what it is. It's fine. 5 out of 5. Enjoyment factor, though, however, is a 2 out of 5. Like I said, I've had to fast forward through sex scenes. They meander too long. The story is too thin. There was opportunity abound for something better, and I guess they really didn't have the budget, and I guess they were more like erotica first, then horror mystery second. But in a way, it felt like it was sort of skirting two things. Like, it would have been a better movie if it just went full adult film, or it went full horror, and I think it tried to balance it too much, and they really should have just decided which one it was. I don't know, but a 2 out of 5, and my overall impression, unfortunately, is a 2 out of 5. There is a movie in there. There is a movie in there, and honestly, if I were someone who had the ability and the funding, I would think that a remake of this movie could work with the right idea and the right script, because, like I said, there's elements, there's a core to this film that is interesting and could actually be very, very good. But unfortunately, Unfortunately, I don't know if the director and the producer and the cast aspired to something more, or they did, but they just couldn't because they were handcuffed because of what they were making, I guess. Because this is definitely a straight-to-video type of production, which, honestly, the production value and the cinematography weren't that bad. Like I said, there's elements, it's just, it didn't get to be put all together, and unfortunately, because of that, 2 out of 5. The average is out to a 2.4 out of 5, which is, yes, below average, unfortunately. But there you have it. Celluloid Nightmares, otherwise known as Abnormal Ingyaku. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. I'm not even going to ask to leave a comment in the section because no one else has watched this film, but if they did, well, leave a comment. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell for notifications and stuff like that. And I thank you once again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, and I will see you next time. And remember, Internet, you stay scary, and yeah, if you work at like one of them kind of adulty places and someone leaves an unmarked disc, VHS, whatever it is, you know what? Just don't watch it. Don't watch. It can't be. No, just do get out of your mind. Don't just let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Don't do that. Also, be careful of leftover video equipment because they may have a trick knife in there that pops out. Very dangerous. Ah!